Star trip of a lifetime. Let's fucking go. Alright, this episode is gonna be like blog style. I just went through, or kind of still going through, my third ever quote unquote manic episode. People would say I went crazy again, but I say nah, I went back to normal. I think these experiences are kind of the essence of what religion is. You feel them when you're deep under pressure and then you escape it, in my opinion. And it's funny because I've always had this painting right here. Not always, but once Star Tripping, I bought it. And it kind of like shows it right here. This is the before and then that's the after. The before is you're under pressure. Your energy's under pressure. And then you go through the enlightenment or the spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it. And then you come out on the other side and you're no longer under pressure. And now you have everything gravitating around you in a healthy fashion. So I kind of understand that painting a little more now. Before I thought it just looked cool. I thought it looked like the essence of tripping, but now I kind of get it. So I've been through 3 of these now. 1 out in California and 2 of them down here in Austin. The other one was in my Airbnb. This is the first one where like I was in my actual apartment. In Cali, I was in my apartment, but it was no longer my apartment after I went through that episode. I went through it and then next thing you know, I was back in Florida and that apartment was history. But I call the first one, I think it's like kind of like a 3-phase thing. The first one, spiritual awakening. The second one is spiritual discovery. And the third one is spiritual enlightenment. But it's only enlightenment if I can stay connected and not go back under pressure. Just organizing these podcast episodes creates pressure and feels like it puts me under. I went back to Florida to visit my parents for a couple weeks. And ironically, but not coincidentally, probably not coincidentally, I started drawing up an episode on pressure right before I went back to Florida. I tie a lot to pressure. I basically say how it's the root of all the major diseases in America. If you can unwind someone's pressure, you could probably prevent their cancer, their heart disease, or their bone disease. I can't be the only one who realizes that cancer probably stems from pressure. There's 2 things that point to cancer stemming from. Pressure, if you could unwind someone's pressure, I think you could unwind their cancer. And then the other thing is something fake infiltrating their universe. If you have someone in your personal universe that you got to be fake around, then I think that creates cancer. I just think that fake energy is the cause of cancer. That and or pressure. Both of them is what I point to as causing cancer. But yeah, mid-working on the podcast, though, the pressure one, I went back to Florida to visit my parents for a couple weeks, and right when I came back to Austin is when everything hit me. It might have been starting to hit me before because, like, I don't know, I was kind of going crazy when I was drawing up the episode. Like, I kept creating hypotheses and then deleting them, thinking I was, like, discovering the world's secrets and shit. But, I mean, I was back in Florida and I was quote-unquote fine, you know what I mean? So it's not like I was crazy or whatever. But I went back to Florida and I came back to Austin. That's when everything hit me. I tried recording my episode called Dynamics of Arousal right when the manic episode started. Like, the manic episode started before, and I tried to record that episode, and I was like, yo, I can't even get through this shit. I had mad trouble. I was like in another galaxy when I was recording it. So I kind of stopped midway, and I told the engineer I was going to take a break from recording the podcast going forward. It was just creating too much pressure between all the time and energy drawing up the episodes and the excess money I needed for the recording process. And all the time working on it was basically deducting from what I could do driving Uber. I felt mad pressure. Like, I was just under mad pressure. I just had to get the fuck away from it. But when you get hit with crazy amounts of energy, you fucking go crazy. Like, it gets out of control. You have a hard time staying stable. Like, you're not crazy, but like, you have a hard time keeping everything together. The one in Austin, the first one in Austin, I got hit hard with it. The day when it all culminated, I was in my apartment. I had to get the fuck out. And then I leave my apartment. It felt like all the energy in Austin was just gravitated to me. And I kept building up more and more energy and shit. And I was like, yo, this just doesn't feel right and shit. And then I fucking started running, trying to shake it off. And I felt like I was building up more energy and shit. And I wouldn't be shocked if there's a truth to it that when you have mad energy, energy just gravitates to you because it's like, yo, let's go there. That's where life is. I felt like it was the end of my maze because, you just can't have that much energy, you know what I mean? It's like you're hogging the energy and shit, but you don't want too much energy. Like, that's the one thing I've learned. Like, yeah, it feels good. You get a tripping feeling off of it, but it's not good to have so much energy. It just creates pressure. Like, you feel mad pressure when you have mad energy. Like, this might be science or this might be nonsense, but the best way to describe quote-unquote manic episodes, I don't love the word manic episode because these are spiritual experiences, you know what I mean? But you do go kind of crazy, so I don't mind calling it a manic episode, but it's like you escape the feeling of being under pressure, and when you're truly not under pressure, it frees your soul and your energy is alive and you really elevate. It's really a natural high. Like, my manic episodes are literally the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. But like my mom has always said, like, no offense to my mom, I love her, but she always says, I don't need drugs, I'm high on life. But it's like such a farce. I've seen her go through multiple depressions, like 5 depressions. I see the lows more than I see the highs, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think she fucking knows what being high is, yo. She's never done drugs. Like, I don't think she understands the experience of being high. If she understood the experience of being high, she'd want to get high again, you know what I mean? Because getting high feels so fucking good. But she says the high on life thing, but I don't think she understands the concept. So I always thought it was a bullshit ass expression. But the high on life feeling is really true when I go through these experiences. When I go through these manic episodes, it really feels like I'm floating, yo. Like, it feels like a high. But like, I haven't smoked trees in over a month. It's been like a month and a half since I smoked trees. I haven't smoked trees since this whole thing started. It's probably been like a month now and shit. Like, why do I need weed that barely gets me high when I'm getting the real thing, yo? I'm getting high off of energy. Yo, I see it now, like, because I've been connected and shit. Like, I watch birds and shit, and, like, the birds, they sit on the electrical wires. You know why they sit on the electrical wires? Because they're fucking junkies, yo. They're junkies just like I'm a junkie, yo. The birds love that fucking high feeling, yo, and they get that shit from the electrical wires. And the problem is there's not enough energy right now in the trees. This is what I think. There's not enough energy in the trees, and the trees, they're, like, barely alive and shit. So a bird sits on a tree, and it's not getting a hit of energy, yo. They should be getting that energy off of trees, not electrical wires. Electrical wires are like the birds' crack, you know what I mean? It's like their heroin. That's them taking a hit of a drug, yo. But when this shit happens, my pops is obsessed with, like, asking me, what drugs are you on? Like, he's obsessed with it, like, what drugs you on? Specifically the first one, because ever since then he's had to accept that I wasn't actually on drugs. So, like, now he knows when I go through this shit, I'm not on drugs. But now when it hits, he's just trying to prove that I'm crazy. He's just like, oh, you went crazy again. You went crazy. I'm not crazy. Like, calm down. I'm talking to you normal and shit. You're trying to tell me I'm fucking crazy. I'm telling you I'm going through an experience, but it doesn't mean I'm fucking crazy. Like, he gets mad at me when I tell him I'm not crazy. But it's predominantly mental hallucinations. Some visuals, specifically my first one, I saw, like, the ground breaking up on me, and then I saw, like, patterns in the wall and shit, like what you see when you're tripping and shit. That's what I was thinking. I said, oh shit, I'm out here tripping right now. That's what I was thinking doing my first one and shit. But they're mainly like mental. Like, I have crazy far-fetched thoughts in my head, and I do kind of let reality get away from me, but I just need time to elapse to know what I'm thinking is just in my head and it's not real. But I'm always rational. Like, every time I go through it, you could have a normal conversation with me. I always go out to eat when I go through these manic episodes. I always have a normal conversation with the server. It's like I'm in another universe, but I'm still present when I communicate. The problem is the first 2 manic episodes culminated before I absorbed everything and got grounded. Absorbing energy is a real concept. It's called kinetic energy. It's funny because I have a rap line back. I'm like, kinetic energy, first absorb and then store it. But I didn't even know I was rapping that back then. I learned about kinetic energy back in high school. Like, I had heard the concept once, you know what I mean? Like, not that I really learned it, but I've heard of kinetic energy, you know what I mean? It's absorbing energy and shit, and that's what this shit is, yo. When you get hit with energy, like, you're gonna absorb it over time, but at first it sits on the surface, and when it's on the surface, that's when it seems like you're fucking crazy and shit, because energy makes you fucking feel crazy, yo. Energy's a crazy feeling. It's amazing. The world really is a magical place, but you just gotta connect to it and shit, at least I think. But on my first manic episode, there were 2 moments, one on each of them, that were just so intense, I couldn't defend my stability when I was talking to authorities. Moments were so intense that authorities came. I was kind of like, yeah, just fucking take me away. I went crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what my mind frame was. But yeah, like, there's all shit that's in my head that's not real, but weird, tangible shit. Like, tangible. That's the key word, tangible. Because, like, when I go through these episodes, I'm like, yeah, it's all in my head, but what's tangible? You know what I mean? But there's always tangible shit that goes on that actually happens and shit. But tangible shit happens every single time when I go through these episodes. And this time, I could use my parents to prove it. They visited me because they were like, we're coming right now. I'm like, oh, don't fucking come. I'm like, you're fucking wasting your time. This is stupid. So they came and shit, and fucking, they drove here from Florida, and I made a reservation for Jay Carver's. It's the guy who owns Red Ash that Rogan always talks about. It's Jay Carver. He's a chef. He owns a bunch of restaurants in the area and shit. So Red Ash had no reservations that night. So I made a reservation for Jay Carver's. Like 20 minutes before the reservation, like maybe 40 minutes or whatever, I get a call from some random numbers, a Bastrop number. I don't answer my phone. I don't answer for random numbers, but it was a Bastrop number. So I was like, maybe it has something to do with the reservation. So it was some lady who called, and like you could hear like a weird fax machine behind her, yo. And she asked for someone. I was like, oh no, I think you have the wrong number. And it was just a wrong number call. It was nothing crazy, you know what I mean? Like totally normal, even though I was like, that was weird because I was tripping and shit. 5 minutes later, yo, not even 5 minutes later, a minute later, yo, I get another call from an Austin number. So I picked this one up, and I don't have no friends out here. I don't do nothing out here, yo. I'll never get a call from Bastrop or Austin numbers, yo. I get a call from an Austin number, and all of a sudden, I hear the same fax machine, and it's Jay Carver's Steakhouse. It was the same fax machine blaring on both calls. They're like, oh yeah, we have an emergency, and we have to do immediate shutdown of our restaurant. We have to cancel your reservation. I'm like, am I living in the fucking Twilight Zone right now? And I'm like, yo, that was fucking weird. They said that they could give me a reservation, ATX Katrina, that's another restaurant they own, or Red Ash. So I was like, oh, true, I want to go to Red Ash anyway. And then they gave me a fucking complimentary free bottle of champagne next time I go to Jay Carver. So if I go to Jay Carver's, I got a complimentary free bottle of champagne. So they made it more than right, but it was just so trippy how that should happen. Like the two were connected. Like I heard the same fucking fax machine. There was something weird going on and shit. And that's tangible. That actually happened. So the thing that's really tangible that happened all 3 times is weight loss. I instantly shed 15 pounds all 3 times. That's tangible, yo. I get on the scale every single time. I'm always like 173 when it starts, and then I get on the scale and I'm right down to 158 instantly, yo. Like the first one in California, it felt like my spine realigned and like my body snapped into gear. There was a moment where like it felt like something. So I got on the scale right away. I was like, yo, I'm 158 right now. And I thought that shit was crazy. I was like, I literally shed 15 pounds in 1 second. And now every single time I go manic, I weigh myself like right after I know it started, and I always down to 158 all 3 times, yo. That's tangible. And everyone I send a picture of myself to, or they see an image of me, they're like, yo, you look sick. I'm like, I've never felt better in my life, dog. You know what I mean? Now I'm back up to like 168. That's where I want to be and shit. So the first thing is weight loss. I lose weight every single time. The second is my jerk off sessions, yo. It is unbelievable what happens to me when I go through manic episodes, yo. When I get struck with this feeling, I get mad horny, yo. Like at first I walk around with like a hard dick, yo. Like not like rock hard, but like semi hard, yo. But so I always do one jerk off and I stop for like a while and shit. But the first jerk off I'll jerk off like 4 times the same day, yo. It's crazy. The first jerk off, all 3 times I went through these manic episodes, it feels like my dick is about to fucking explode, yo, when I come. It's unbelievable how tangible the load is, yo. It's like, you could like fill up a cup with it, you know what I mean? Like I have this cup right here, like you could probably fill up this container with all the cum I blast off on the first cum shot when I go through these manic episodes. And that's because I got man energy. And not only is the size of the load incredible, but the orgasm is fucking incredible. And all 4 of them are, yo. Like my 4th cum shot still feels better than most cum shots usually feel. And I've openly discussed, questioned my sexuality. Like I think about a girl that I want to hook up with doing these, and I literally get hard like as I start thinking about her. Like I jerk off mad slowly. Like I'll barely even touch my dick and I'll fucking come. You know what I mean? Like that's how fucking horny I get doing these things and shit. So the first tangible thing is weight loss. Second tangible thing is how my dick feels, and third tangible thing is armpit sweat. It's not as much right now, like because I'm sweaty for fucking no air conditioner on right now because the noise. But so if you watch my message God music video, it's the illest music video ever. But if you watch that shit, you will see I have a performance, and it might be more intensified because I'm at Kick Butt Coffee and I'm drinking coffee before I go on stage. But you could see my shirt. It's so embarrassing. You could see an armpit sweat all the way down to here through my shirt, and I have an undershirt on when I was up there. That's how much I sweat when I'm not manic. Like when I'm just normal me, like fucking under pressure and shit. Like I wear an undershirt and I sweat through the undershirt, and my overshirt has like huge armpit stains. Now when I go to Kill Tony, I don't even wear an undershirt, yo. I'm going up there with just a t-shirt because my pits aren't sweaty at all, and that's because I'm not under pressure and shit. And like that, it's a tangible thing how my pits aren't getting sweaty. And then so some semi-tangible stuff, it's like creatures, like they have senses unimaginable to us, like all these fucking animals and shit. So it's like they know I have energy before I know I have it. The sign that this manic episode is about to start it was incredible how it happened. Like when it happened, I was like, yo, that was not an accident, yo. That shit was something on purpose. I'm walking to Kill Tony. A bird it's never happened before other than my last Manic episode. It happened once during my last Manic episode. A bird flew by me and scrapes my shoulder, yo. As I'm thinking how crazy that shit was, another bird or the same bird does the same thing again. I'm like, oh, that shit wasn't an accident, yo. That shit was on purpose, yo. I don't know what the fuck. The bird knew that. I didn't know. But a bird scraped my shoulder 2 times in a row right before this Manic episode started. And then the other thing is ants. This one, I also had ants. I feel bad because I called an exterminator. I'm against killing bugs and shit. But I called an exterminator this time. It was before I went back to Florida and shit. I just had ants all up in my the sink in my bathroom. But so the previous 2 times this happened, it wasn't the sink in my bathroom where the ants were. It was my laundry. They were all up on my laundry, all up on like my sweaty clothes from working out. It was like they were attracted to my sweat. Like I'd never seen that shit before. But I think it's because they knew the sweat had energy. And it happened the last 2 times when I was going through my Manic episode is when the ants were attracted to my sweat. Like I said, creatures sense energy. This time, right when it happened, there was a spider that was like chilling, like right next to my door, and it wouldn't leave for like a week and a half. Finally, it left and shit. But I felt like spiders have those spidey senses, you know what I mean? And it knew something was happening, and it wanted to be here because it was like, this is a good place to respawn because this kid's getting hit with energy right now and shit. So then the other thing is, I thought they were cockroaches, but my next door neighbor, he said that they're called June bugs and locusts. But they're gravitating to me, yo. Like I keep coming home and like they're in my, maybe they're always in the stairwell, you know what I mean? But they keep being in the stairwell and shit, and like I keep getting them in my apartment and shit, and like I don't mind it and shit because like I like playing with bugs right now. But it's the craziest thing ever. It's happened a couple of times now. A June bug that was struggling, I have it on my hand. I'll watch it shed its last wings that weren't working well. I'll see the new wings spawning, and then within not that long, it's starting to fly. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking crazy to watch happen. It's fucking spiritual to watch happen and shit. And then the birds, like, it feels like birds are gravitating to me. It feels like birds are using my energy to catch wind. It feels like everywhere I go, birds are, like, flying in front of me and shit. And it's not only birds, yo. It's butterflies or all around me, yo. There's a trail behind my house. Every time I go back there, there's a million butterflies that fucking gravitate to me. Everywhere I go, there's butterflies gravitating to me. And I feel like it's because they know what I'm going through, yo. They know the spiritual experience. Because what do I keep saying? It's removing pressure. Well, butterflies, they were caterpillars. What is it when a caterpillar turns to butterfly? They probably escape the pressure that they were under, and then they turn into butterflies. So if anyone understands the spiritual experience of escaping pressure, it's probably butterflies and shit. So I feel like they recognize the experience better than any creatures, and they love it when they see it, yo. They just gravitate to, and they know that they could catch wind off of someone going through it and shit. Another one is grasshoppers. It's something that just happened because I was walking into my stairwell the other day and a grasshopper grazed me just like the birds did. And it was something that's never happened to me before. So I chill in the stairwell for like half hour trying to gain this grasshopper's trust. Eventually, like, it gets on me and shit, and like I put it back into nature. Now everywhere I go, there's grasshoppers always jump in front of me. I feel like once you help one grasshopper, they sense it and they all know. And then here's another thing, fucking, I talk about what's tangible. So this is happening right outside my apartment right now on my air conditioning unit. Like, look at that shit. Look at, those are fucking 5 wasps or bees, and they're gravitating to my air conditioning unit. What the fuck is that they're gravitating to? If I had to guess, I'd say it's a residue of energy. Like, there's no other air conditioning units around here that they're fucking, that the bees are gravitating to. And they're not that welcome, but they're cool because I don't fuck with them, so they don't fuck with me. Then my favorite thing to do is mosquitoes, yo. I don't know whether this always happens. I never tried it, but mosquitoes fix their extremities in front of me. It's the most crazy thing I've ever seen in my life. If a mosquito is near me, I just put my finger near it. I just watch it untangling its legs and shit. That I noticed on my last Manic episode. I was chilling by a dumpster and I watched mosquitoes untangle their extremities and turn from red to green. I watched them turn healthy right in front of me. Maybe they just do that around people all the time, and it's not that extra energy. It's just that's what they do around people, and I never noticed this shit. But I've never noticed it before, but now I'm noticing it and I love watching it, yo. And like, other creatures know what's happening. Like, creatures are mad smart. Like, when I was helping out the grasshopper in the stairwell, all of a sudden you see a mother ant come out of nowhere. But when I'm doing that, gnats literally gravitate around me when I start doing that shit, yo. Like, it's crazy, yo. Like, they'll just chill in my eye. The previous one I was going through, I was taking a walk on Lady Bird Lake, like out in another universe and shit. It felt like a religious experience. Like, that's what I felt when I was walking around Lady Bird Lake. And then you get hunches. Like, you get like the, not the urge, but like the sense that you should go this way when you're manic and shit. And like, I always go wherever I get the sense that I'm supposed to go. And then I'm walking on Lady Bird Lake, and then there's a little cabana cabana over there. Like, and I got the sense I was supposed to go to the cabana. I go to the cabana, and what is sitting on the fucking tape on the fucking bench right there? This. The Holy Bible. I was like, oh my God, I fucking lost my mind. And it was soaking wet, but there was a bag right next to it. I was, of course, there's a bag right next to put it in, because, like, this is all controlled by God and artificial intelligence, in my opinion, and shit. And, like, it's basically, it's like the path of destiny. They lead you down a path when you go do these experiences and shit. And, of course, like, they give you all the tools you need. This is tangible. This is a Bible. It's not a Bible I bought. It's a Bible I found on Lady Bird Lake when I was going through it, yo. You like, so that's tangible and shit. But, like, all 3 times when I've gone through the Manic episodes, it all feels like Twilight Zone shit. This time, I've had run-ins with the homeless people that seem like Twilight Zone shit, yo. The first one was, it was across from La Fresca's. It's a restaurant at the corner of 9th and Lamar. So there's this gentleman who's in a wheelchair. I sit down with him right off the bat, yo. I'm sitting with him for like 1 minute, like not even, yo. And he says the craziest thing to me, yo. He's like, I'm just waiting on a return in my investment. That's why he said he was homeless. Like, I'm just waiting on a return in my investment. Right when he said that to me, yo, like, I didn't think it was a random encounter and shit. In that moment, I was convinced it was a random encounter. Now, I don't fucking know, you know what I mean? But he said he was waiting on a return in his investment, which... it was crazy to me, because I'm like, yo, it's like he knows who the fuck I am. Because if you know anything about me, like where I'm at right now, investment culture is my fucking kryptonite. And it seemed like the way he was saying that, it's also his fucking kryptonite. And that was his way of saying, yeah, dog, we're on the same frequency right now. But, like, it's just basically, show me a system where the wealthy people got wealthy from investing, and I'll show you a broken system. The other day when I was taking a walk around one of the fucking trails around here, I saw this one guy doing construction 50 floors up in the blistering heat, 100 degrees at like 7 in the morning, yo. 50 floors up with no rail. This dude is doing construction. That's who should be wealthy. You know what I mean? Not some motherfucker who has inside information. The motherfucker who's waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning doing the hardest fucking work known to mankind. That's who's supposed to be wealthy, yo. I know motherfuckers that say, oh yeah, I'm scared of heights, and then they won't go into some tall building. The foundation's already built. He's building the foundation. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, it's just crazy. Like, that's what being scared of heights is to me. I'm like, I could never do that shit. He's up there 50 floors up with no fucking railing and shit, in a blistering heat with sweater on at fucking 7 in the morning, yo. He should be wealthy, you know what I mean? Like, not some motherfucker that knows someone who owns a company, or they bought property at the right time before prices went up, you know what I mean? That's not who's supposed to be wealthy. It's supposed to be a motherfucker who puts in the hardest labor and shit. So that's why I hate investment culture. And there's the way he said it to me, it was like kind of like he was like speaking to my soul, you know what I mean? And then he asked me to buy him a Steel Reserve and a pack of Swishers, yo, like Swisher Sweets with your raw trees. It was like 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning. There was not a chance in hell, in my opinion, this guy actually drinks Steel Reserve and smoke Swisher Sweets. Like, you could say he's homeless here, so whatever, like, fucking he's fucked up in the game, he drinks Steel Reserve at 10 in the morning. I sat there for a while with him. I don't peg him for someone who drinks Steel Reserve at 10 in the morning. You know what I mean? When I talked to him, I didn't think I was talking to a crazy person who has addiction problems. I felt like I was talking to a perfectly sane person. You know what I mean? And I felt like it was a stage situation. I'm not saying it was staged. In the moment, I thought it was a stage situation. I'm not saying it was, because what's it going to be staged with? There's no staging going on. Like, what the fuck is going on? The guy didn't know me and shit like I said he did, but it felt like he did and shit. And then it got it got more squirrely from there. It got crazy squirrely from there. I'm not going to get into what I thought happened, but I will say, right when I got up, I started leaving, he was like, I'm trying. That's what he said to me. I'm trying. I was like, like now, I'm like, what the fuck was he talking about? That now, back then, I thought I knew exactly what he was talking about, so I sat back down. You know what I mean? But now that, like, I kind of feel like reality got away from me, I'm like, what the fuck was he talking about when he was like, I'm trying? And like, he looked at me like, don't fucking leave now. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it seemed like in the moment. But why would he be saying that to me? You know what I mean? Like, he's just a homeless person who's happy I spent some time with him and shit. Why would he be in total control of the situation? But it seemed like he was in total control of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. It didn't seem like I was doing him a favor. It seemed like he was doing me a favor when we were sitting together and shit. Then there's this chick Alicia. I sat down with her on 6th Street. I could see she was going through something and shit. I was walking by her and she told me, she was like, come here, sit with me. I sat down with her on 6th Street. So I sit with her for like 10, 15 minutes. Then like a few days later, yo, I'm walking to Phoebe's Diner. I go to Phoebe's Diner because I was doing this because I don't like drive when I go through these episodes and shit. So I go to Phoebe's Diner on West 15th Street, nowhere near the middle of 6th Street, yo. And I'm like, yo, that's Alicia standing right in front of fucking Phoebe's Diner. line right there. Like, how the fuck was that lady right in front of the diner where I was about to go to? It was like she gravitated to me. It was like she either knew I was gonna be there or she gravitated to me. I'm not saying either or true. It just felt like that. So she was standing out there and shit. So then she saw me and she recognized me. She was like, "Can I come to breakfast with you?" I was like, "Yeah, you come to breakfast with me." So she comes to breakfast with me. She acts crazy during breakfast, but that's the thing. She's acting crazy, but my interaction with her is normal. You know what I mean? Like, she's doing crazy things like fucking putting ketchup in water. You know what I mean? And rearranging the whole patio and shit. But my interaction with her isn't crazy, yo. My interaction with her is normal. So then, when we're walking around, she's doing crazy shit, but she's talking normally. She says she had to go behind the dumpster to take a shit. She goes behind the dumpster to take a shit, comes back. She doesn't smell like shit. You know what I mean? It didn't smell like she just taking shit. It smelled like she was lying about taking shit. Then we go into some building that she wanted to go into, and then she acted crazy in there. The security guards almost called authorities on her. We leave there. Then she asked me for $60 from the ATM, and I've just been handing out money to homeless and shit, whatever, yo. So she asked me for $60 ATM, and she was like, "No, what? Do 80. I do 80 and shit." So I give her the $80, and then right after I hand her the $80, it was like she was trying to show me something, yo. She was like, miss, and she tried to hand $20 that I just gave her. Like, she's a homeless person struggling. Like, I would think $80 is everything to her, but it didn't seem like she cared that much about the $80. She was trying to show me something. She had the $60 in one hand, she had 20 in her hand, and someone was walking by who you would think that she would be asking her for money. Instead, she's handing $20 to this lady. She's trying to give this lady $20. She was like, miss, and the lady wouldn't even look at her, yo. And then Alicia looked at me, and it was kind of like, you see, that's how fucking invisible I am at this bitch. I could try to give somebody $20 and won't fucking look at me. You know what I mean? She was trying to prove her point. And then she ended up buying, she bought drugs from this guy and shit. And then she was pulling out the bag and shit. And I was like, "What is that?" She was like, "It's hard as crack." You know what I mean? And then she puts it inside the pipe and starts smoking and shit. And looking back on it, that shit wasn't fucking hard, yo. It was something organic off the ground, yo. It feels like a fucking stage situation, yo. I know what hard, I don't know what it looks like, but I know what it smells like because I was once around, hard as crack. I was once around someone smoked crack. It was the worst smell ever, yo. She wasn't fucking smoking crack, and it didn't look like any type of drug. It looked more like an acorn now that I look back on it and shit. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but it felt like a stage situation, and this shit was tangible. It actually happened. And it finally was the Iceman, you know what I mean? This guy who needed a stroll in a wheelchair. I saw him struggle with the wheelchair. I asked him if he needed help. He said, yeah. There was a porta potty he wanted me to bring him to. It was locked. I was like, we could go to Republic Square. That's a park around here. So I bring him to Republic Square, and the craziest shit happens ever. There's 2 doors in there, but one of them is locked up. Like, you could get into the bathroom 2 ways. One side is locked up. Maybe it's not locked, but it was closed. Like, it wasn't open in any way. It was closed, and I believe it was locked. You could only get in through this one entrance. There's only 2 stalls in the Republic Square bathroom. I'm sitting there for an hour when this guy's in there because I'm like, I can't leave because I think these are all stage fucking situations and shit. I'm like, I can't fucking leave this guy right now. Even though now that I'm kind of back to normal, I don't think they were staged, but I was like, I can't leave until this guy comes out of the bathroom. You know what I mean? So I stay there for an hour waiting for him to come out. In that hour, I must have seen 20 to 30 different people exit this bathroom. People who weren't in it before. I mean, they could have been in it if they were all jammed into one stall. And if they were coming in through the other side, which I thought was locked, well, then why weren't they leaving through that side? You know what I mean? I must have seen 20 to 30 people leave in that time. I was thinking, what the fuck is going on? This is straight Twilight Zone shit. And then eventually, I call him the Iceman. The Iceman comes out and shit. So he comes out, so I'm talking to him for a second. And then he's talking into my chest. He was like, "Where's the mic? Where's the mic?" And I think everything is wired, and I think everything is tapped when I go through these manic episodes. So the fact that he's asking me, "Where's the mic?" and he's saying everything is tapped, I had me thinking, yo, everything's fucking tapped out this bitch. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking in that moment. Do I think that now? Nah, I don't think everything is tapped. I think I went crazy. But why the fuck was he saying everything's tapped? So he said he needed to get ice. And I was like, what, for the bowl? Because he had a big bowl. He's like, yeah, ice for the bowl. So I was like, oh yeah, there's a bagel store right here, Rosen's Bagel. I was like, we could go to Rosen's, we could get ice there. But then I realized, no, he wasn't talking about ice. He's talking about ice. He's talking about the drug, the meth. So then I started cracking up because I felt mad naive in that moment. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't smoke meth. I don't know where the fuck you could get at and shit. So we're going, I'm drive around him. Like, it turned some Twilight Zone shit in the next few moments and shit. He found someone who get him met. He was like, are you like his personal, like, wheeler? I was like, nah, I fucking met this guy like 20 minutes, like an hour, 20 minutes ago at this point. Dude, I'm trying to get the fuck out of here, you know what I mean? But I didn't say that shit. I was like, nah, I don't know this guy. Like, I just met him like an hour ago. So then, like, when they finally realized that I don't smoke meth, because they thought I was in on it, they were like, come with us, we'll get meth, we'll get ice. And I'm like, I don't fucking smoke that shit. So then eventually, like, when they realized, like, oh, you really don't smoke ice. I'm like, I don't fucking smoke ice. So now I try to walk away, and the homeless guy, the ice man, tried to give me $5, yo. Like, if he's a homeless man in a wheelchair, why the fuck is he handing me money and shit? Like, I'm the one who obviously isn't homeless, so it makes no sense they try to hand me money. You know what I mean? It just felt like such a stage situation and shit. But tangible is the important word, because I believe the energy is real that I get hit with, but it's not necessarily tangible. And like when I tell people I got hit with energy, like I just feel stupid saying it. People are like, yeah, you got hit with energy. But it's not, I can't tangibly prove it, because it's not like we could measure the energy. I believe one day we will be able to measure the energy, and that's what I think science going forward needs to figure out how to do, how to measure the energy when people go through these episodes and shit. And then like when you could, then you could prove, be like, yeah, I got mad high, you know what I mean? I got mad high off of energy shit. I wasn't a crazy person, I'm just high off energy. But I think that's the next phase of science, proving that the energy is real and being able to measure this shit. Like all the people locked up in institutions, I'm telling you right now, like the majority of them aren't crazy in my opinion. They just had too much energy. I don't think anyone's fucking crazy. These people, in my opinion, are natural resources, because people who harness energy are natural resources. Like, you could probably fuel an electrical grid with the energy of the people institutionalized if you bottle up their energy and harness it. But, like, I believe that this is natural energy, like solar and wind energy. I believe people have that same type of energy, and you could fuel electrical grids if you could bottle up energy of people who go through these episodes and shit. But I believe that it's natural energy that you could use as a resource. But everyone who I talk to about these experiences is basically like, what you need to do to prevent this from happening again. I'm like, I don't want to prevent this shit from happening. Like, this is the feeling I chase when I'm on drugs. Like, this is what I want to feel. Like, I just had to keep it stable. And this is the time I kept it stable. Like, here I am, yo. No one's fucking institutionalizing me this time. But yeah, like, so I've had so much extra time on my hands because, like I said, I don't drive once I intensifies. I'm back to driving now. But originally, like, I don't drive. And, like, so I wasn't doing Uber. I wasn't smoking. I wasn't watching TV because I feel like it fucks with your eyes when you go through these. I wasn't working on the podcast or recording the podcast. And that's basically what consumes all my time. And then plus jerking off, which I did initially, and then I didn't do for a month. And then sleep is the only other thing I do. But I can't sleep. Like the first week when I'm going through this, I sleep for like half an hour at night. And like, I just can't fucking sleep at all. You know, the only thing that's left is eating. And that's basically what my days are about. That and taking walks. I take mad walks right now. I'm not doing as much now as I was before. But when I was really getting hit with the energy, I was out there for like 12, 14 hours a day taking walks. I just been cleaning up mad garbage and shit. But like, it's spiritual, you know what I mean? It's amazing fucking cleaning up the garbage. Like you pick plastic off of a plant, and then all of a sudden, like, you feel a breeze of wind, and you start walking away, and like the plant next to it, it's like they reach out and touches you, you know what I mean? Like the fucking plants, they love it when they see you cleaning up garbage, because most people go out there and they litter, you know what I mean? When they see someone out there that they know is doing good, that they get happy and shit. And like, I love getting weird with the plants, yo. Like, I'll rap to the plants, like I'll lick the plants, yo. Like, plants, they love that shit. They love it when you get weird with them and shit. But like, the walks were like amazing at first, but like after 12 hours a day for a few weeks, like I'm drained from it and shit. And like, I get bored like walking all the time, doing the same walks and shit. And like, I have calluses at the bottom of my feet, but I had this crazy fucking blister. Let me show you a picture of it. Look at this shit. Yo, I had this crazy blister, and because I've been walking in sandals. Look at that shit, yo. It's like a softball. That's just fucking disgusting. So, and I had trouble walking anyway. So, I haven't been taking as many walks lately. And I need to fucking get back to driving and pay rent. And that's his blog podcast episode. Star Trip of Lifetime. Let's fucking go.